languages of this structured programming. Next one. Next unit, these three topics are only there in unit 2. Next is evolution of C language. Means what is a C language and what is the origin, what is the history. This is the important one. What is the history of a C language? That is the important one. Actually, there is a brief history and interesting history for C language. That US defense, the defense of the US army, they were required a network. Means to communicate themselves, a defense people required a network. For that network, they have approached a scientist called, so they have approached a laboratory in the US. That laboratory name is called AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph Laboratory. This is the famous laboratory for computer science. They have approached this laboratory scientists that we need a network. For that, can you develop a network for the defense of US and can you give it to us? What they did, they have seen to develop a network, they have required an operating system. Operating system means that whatever you are using right now in the computers, they have seen the existing operating systems at that time to develop the network. But those operating systems are not sufficient, are not supportable. Samira, please, not sufficient to develop that particular network. So the first target is to develop a network for the US defense. US defense. So for that, they need an operating system. And they had seen the existing operating system to develop this network. And those operating systems are not sufficient to develop this network. At that time, they wanted to develop a separate operating system. To develop a particular operating system, they had seen the existing programming languages like BASIC, Fortran, COBOL, and other modular languages they have seen. Yeah, those languages were not sufficient to develop this operating system. So further, to develop this operating system, they have developed a programming language called C. This C language is developed by Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie, he is the father of C language. So what was the purpose? They need to develop a network for the US defense. For that, they required an operating system. For operating system, to develop an operating system, they need a programming language. Further, they have developed an operating system called a programming language called C. Using that C, they have developed an operating system called Unix. Using this Unix, they have developed the network for the US defense called ARPA. ARPANET. C language develop చేసేసి operating Unix develop చేశారు. From that Unix, they have developed the ARPA network for the US defense. So US defense కోసం డెవలప్ చేయాల్సిన నెట్వర్క్ కోసం ఈ C language అనేది డెవలప్ చేశారు. So that was the brief history. Dennis Ritchie started this development of C language in 1969 and it is officially released for the use of people in 1972. The official version of C language is released for the people or the market in 1972. So that was the brief history of C language. And Dennis Ritchie is being called as the father of C language. And C language is the very basic one, structured programming, basic structured programming. This is the path or the way to learn any other programming language easily. If you know C well, you can learn any other programming language easily. You can learn Python, you can learn Java, you can learn C Sharp, you can learn Swift. whatever the programming language you take, if you have the good command on C, and those languages or other languages are very easy. So that is why C is being called as the fundamental programming language or basic programming language or the path to learn other programming languages. Not only programming languages, if you are having a good logic for the C programming, if you do more programs, you can automatically build up your logical thinking skills. That logical thinking skills will help you to solve the real world problems and computerized problems also. And if you know the C language well, if you know the logics, if you know the concepts well, that will increase your skill enhanceability to understand the other subjects of computer. You can understand operating system, networks, whatever the subjects you take. If you're having this good knowledge in C, you can understand other programming language or other computer subjects easily. So this is the brief history of C, and this is the importance of C. And what there are some features of C language. What are they? Uh, features. There are some features of C language. You can easily understand them. You can easily grasp them. Just you can simply remember what are the features of C language. This is our important topic. The features of C language are it's a simple programming language, the simplicity. And one more. Yeah. The features of C language are just a minute. The first one is simplicity. C language is very simple to understand because there are 32 keywords in C language, and the syntax and the logic, the syntax of the C language is very easy, and due to this less keywords and simple keywords, you can understand the C language is very easy manner. And next one is structured manner. It is a structured programming language. Means C language uses only functions. The maximum is functions to solve the problems. And the next one is reusability. You can use the C language code in the programs wherever you want. And next one is the other features of C language is portability. You can write C language program in your mobile, on your laptop, or in your mobile means Android operating system, and you can run that program into other operating system like Windows or Unix or any other. If you write a C program on one platform, you can run it on other platforms also. That is called the portability. And the libraries. And C is having some simple and easy libraries, rich libraries. Those libraries will help to solve the general problems. General problems means C is not a specific programming language. It is a general purpose programming language. Means you can develop games, you can develop operating system, you can develop application software. Application software means like MS Office, PowerPoint, Paint, and all these things. It's a general purpose programming language, and reusability, portability. It is a structured and a simple, and it is having rich libraries. All these are the features of a C language. And next one is, what is the structure of a C language? Means how to start a C program and how to write the program logic and how to wind it up. There is a structure of a C program. This is very, very important one, the structure of a C program. There are various sections. The structure of a C program is comprises of various sections. If you know these sections, and you can write any program using C. The very first one is documentation section. And next one is main function section. Next, inside this, we have variable declaration section. Documentation section, main function section, inside variable declaration section. Next, the actual code section. And the next one is and we will learn all these documentation section and main function section, variable declaration section, actual code section, one by one. What do you mean by a documentation section? Documentation section means a very starting step. You can have comments in the documentation section. Means once you open the program to write, you can start writing the program name. You can write program to add two numbers. You can write like this. This is called documentation section. A documentation section of a C program will contain only comments. Remember this. Documentation section will have only comments. Comments are represented in two ways. First one is single line comments and multi-line comments. Single line comments is represented by double slashes, and multi-line comments are represented by hash, star, then sentence, star, slash. This is single line comment and this is multi-line comment. If you want to write some information about the program, what you are going to do, that information you can type using your own words. So if you want to write the information in one word, you can use double slashes. This is called a single line comment. If you want to write multiple lines about the program, you can start slash, star. You can write some lines, then you can put slash. So you can put star and slash. These two will be called as, this is a single line commenting and this is a multi-line commenting. Single line commenting and multi-line commenting should goes at documentation section. This is very first section of the program. This section will help the readers to understand about the program. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ దేని గురించి, ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్లో ఏముందని అర్థం చేసుకోవడం కోసం ఈ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ సెక్షన్లో కమెంట్స్ పెడతాం. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, main function section. Every C program will have at least one function. That is main. that will like main keyword and this parenthesis. Main and keyword rashi pakkana parenthesis. This is called main function section. Then you have to write the curly braces. This entire thing will be called as main function section. దీనికంటే ముందు మనము కమెంట్స్ రాస్తాము. This program is about to add two numbers. Like after documentation section, we will have main function section. Main function will starts with the main keyword, all are lowercase only. And beside main keyword, we'll use the parenthesis. That is called main function. After main function, we should use parenthesis, sorry, curly braces. Next, inside these curly braces, you have to declare the variables like int a, b, c. Whatever the variable you are going to use, that variables will be there inside main function sometimes. Sometimes you can declare those variables outside the main function also. That we will discuss later. So immediately after main, inside curly braces, we have to declare the variables. That is called variable declaration section. Then after that, the actual code. Actual code means whatever the logic, whatever the problem you are going to solve, the code will come after the variable declaration. Then the program will be completed. So remember all these things. The structure of a C program is comprises of various sections. Very first section is documentation section, in which we will write only the comments, either single line comments or multi-line comments. Comments will help the readers to understand about the program. And next one is main function section. Main function section tells about the from where we are starting the program. Every C program will execute from the main function only. Main function means there should be a keyword called main, and beside main keyword, we will use two parentheses. Then after that, we will write two curly braces, main and these curly braces. This is called main function. And inside this, we will declare the variables. That is called variable declaration section. Then the actual code. This is the structure of a C program. And there are some rules for it. Every line of C program must be terminated with semicolon. ఒక లైన్ రాసిన తర్వాత semicolon పెట్టాలి. That semicolon indicates that end of the line. And you should not use the semicolons beside the main function or beside the loops, beside the control statements. All this. And the next one, variables. Variables in C. Variables in C. What is a variable? See, we have a computer. We will purchase our computer or mobile or something to do our works. So for that, we will see some configurations like how much RAM it is having, what is the processor speed, and how much storage it is having. What is the purpose of storage? Whatever the action you do, whatever the task you do in the computer or your mobile, everything will depend on your memory. So whatever the task you do, whatever you press, that will be stored in the memory. Without memory, you can't do any action in your computing device, maybe mobile or maybe laptop, maybe computer. Whatever action you do, that everything will be stored in the memory. If I am writing this variable C, that is also stored in the memory of my device. So the memory will be comprised of memory blocks. Actually, our device memory, if I am having 500 GB storage or 4 GB RAM, the memory will be divided into memory blocks. Every memory block will have memory addresses, like it is A0X5B. This is the address of this one. And this is 0100A108. This is the address of this one. Every memory will be divided into memory blocks. Every memory block will have memory addresses. And it is very difficult to remember, difficult to identify the memory address. for the common people. So that is why we are giving names to the memory blocks. So simply a variable is the name of the memory location, or a variable is a storage area in the memory. Variables are used to store the values in the memory. Variable means it may vary. If you store, if you take a variable as a, if you store 5 in it, it will be remains until you change. If you change the value to 6, it will be change it to 6. Variable means it will store the value for temporary purpose only. So the definition of a variable is the name of the memory location, or a variable is the storage area name. So variables are used to store the values inside the memory. So how to represent a variables? Variables can have variable names. A variable name can be any name by following variable name rules. There are some rules to name the variable. The first rules to name the variable is every variable name must starts with a an alphabet or an underscore. A variable name may start with an alphabet, means A to Z, either lowercase or uppercase, or it may start with an underscore. Next rule to name the variable is a variable name never starts with a number. వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ అనేది నెంబర్తో స్టార్ట్ అవ్వదు. వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ అనేది ఓన్లీ ఆల్ఫాబెట్తో కానీ అండర్స్కోర్తో కానీ మాత్రమే స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ రూల్, keywords. There are 32 keywords in C. Keywords cannot be used as variable names. Keywords ఉన్న నేమ్స్ ని మనం వేరియబుల్ గా యూజ్ చేయొద్దు. నెక్స్ట్, if we have two or more variables, then those variables should be separated by comma. Variables are separated by comma. Next rule to name the variable is there should not be any white spaces or blank spaces between the characters of a variable name. If I write simply variable name, I can write anything. I'll write A, B, C. It's a variable name. It's a single variable name. Or else I can write A, comma, B, comma, C. These are the three different variables and this is a single variable. If I write A, B, C, this is invalid. Variable, if you want to write them as, you can use separate comma. That means this is a separate variable, this is a separate variable, this is a separate variable. Or else you can simply write A, B, C together. Or else you can use A underscore B, C. This is also a valid variable. But you should not give A space B space C. This is invalid. So remember the rules to name the variable is a variable name never starts with a number. A variable name can be alphanumeric. That means that a variable name can have alphabets and numbers. And a variable name may starts with an underscore or an alphabet. And next rule is keywords cannot be used as variable names. Next, there should not be any blank space between the characters of a variable name. These are some rules to name the variables. So using these rules, we can name the variables in the program. Next, declaration of a variable. Declaration means we have to tell to the computer that this is the variable and this is the variable, this is the variable to store some values. How to declare? How to tell the computer that this is a variable. This variable will store some value. ఏ వాల్యూని స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటుంది, దేనికోసం తీసుకున్నాం, అది వీ హ్యావ్ టు టెల్. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ డిక్లరేషన్. ద డిక్లరేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఏ వేరియబుల్ ఇన్క్లూడ్స్ ఏ డేటా టైప్ నేమ్ followed by variable name. That means that see, I want to store only numbers. My question is to addition of two numbers. 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. I have to write a program for this. So here the first number is an integer and second number is an integer and result is also an integer. So these are only numbers. So for that, I can write int A comma B comma C. This is called a declaration of variable. Means a data type means which value, which type of value you are going to store in these variables. Int means int A comma B comma C means A, B, C are the variables that can store only numbers. Integer numbers మాత్రమే స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటాయి. Declaration of variable includes a data type name followed by variable names. What do you mean by a data type? A data type is the type of the data which you are going to store in the memory. Data type is the type of the data which you are going to store in the memory. Using this data type only, we can declare the variables in the C program. So about these data types and some more brief information about variables, we will discuss in tomorrow's class. So as of now, we have gone through the program design of algorithm, definition of algorithm, characteristics of an algorithm, and examples of an algorithm we have seen. And the flowchart, we have seen what is the definition of flowchart and what are the symbols used in the flowchart, and examples also we have seen. And we have also seen about structured programming. Structured programming is a program in which functions or modules are used. A larger program is divided into smaller ones. We have seen the key features of structured programming, and we have also seen the advantages of structured programming. And also we have seen the history of C language due to requirement of US defense that C language was developed. And we have seen the structure of C program, and we have also seen brief about what is variable and some rules to name the variable. And we have also seen a brief about data type. A data type is the type of the data. Type of the data means which type of data you are going to store in the computer. It may be number, maybe text, maybe image, maybe decimal number, whatever. ఎలాంటి డేటా మనం ఇందులో స్టోర్ చేయబోతున్నామో దాన్ని డేటా టైప్ అంటాము. దాట్ విల్ లెర్న్ మోర్ అబౌట్ దిస్ డేటా టైప్ అండ్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ డేటా టైప్స్ ఇన్ డీటెయిల్ ఇన్ టుమారోస్ క్లాస్ ఫ్రమ్ 3 to 4. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.